What up, guys? What up, guys? Um, I'm back. What's going on? I know it's Wednesday, but I wasn't feeling well yesterday, and I didn't stream. So we're gonna do a Tech Tuesday on a Wednesday. Um, Hope you guys are having a good day. So, okay, so today uh, I'm gonna do like a dual thing, like a mashup. Today I'm gonna talk about motivation, and I'm gonna talk about this guy, Roming Pang. If you're not familiar with his name, he's the guy who got the $200 million package to work at Facebook. So since he was in the news, I kind of wanted to talk about him and get to know him a little bit, his skills, and 'cause I love to talk about tech anyway. So diving a little deep into his skill set and letting everybody know who he is and what he's gonna do. Um, so this is, I'm not really sure how to say his name, Ru Ming Pang, and these are basically his skill set, right? This is the guy who did the $200 million deal with Facebook, and I feel like people aren't really talking about his skill set and what he actually does, you know. So we're gonna get into this today. All right, I'm starting a little late, so I'm a little slow, um, but we're gonna get into this, yeah. All right, so that's Mr. Pang. That's the guy who got the $200 million deal. No, I haven't. Yeah, so what's going on, Future? Appreciate you. Um, I'm having issues with the community. I need to keep the community safe. So there's people on here that are spamming people and uh, saying negative things to people. And I just have to kind of control that a little bit. I'm probably going to open up the comments more in the future. But right now, I have to keep the community safe. Because they'll be able to leave comments on your comments. And yeah, but I appreciate you, man. You're definitely somebody. I looked at my stats the other day, and I have hundreds of people that have been coming back, and I definitely appreciate that. Um, so so yeah. Um, okay, so this is the guy who did the $200 million deal with Facebook. Supposedly, I don't know if it's facts, but he supposedly got a $200 million package to work at Facebook, and he's a young guy, very successful. Um, I don't even know if this is his real picture. Might be a AI picture, but we're gonna use it anyway. But they allegedly took him from Apple, and I don't know. I think he was making, don't quote me, 300,000, somewhere between 300,000 and $500,000 range, and then they swiped him for a 200 million package to work at Facebook. So this is one of my favorite topics. So I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna break down his skill set. I'm starting late, people, and I'm kind of tired. I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I didn't stream. But I should have pushed through it and came on here anyway and talk with you guys. But I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so this is kind of a motivational Tech Tuesday mashup kind of thing. And I'm going to be talking about this guy who got the $200 million package from Facebook to leave Apple, right? He's highly skilled in a lot of different areas, you know, when it comes to machine learning, AI, and managing teams. I think he managed a team at Apple where he managed a team of over 100 engineers, something like that. And his skill set is very important to me because, you know, who knows where I may end up in the future. I might end up running a cybersecurity team of 100 people. And who knows where you would end up, right? You might end up managing a team of 30 or 40 people. And we could learn a thing or two from him, you know? He's still a very young guy in his 30s, very successful. Now he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars from just his knowledge of AI. And let's see what type of education he has. Let me see if I can find that, if possible. So, would you leave your job for a $200 million package? Would you leave your job for... All right, so remember, this is Wednesday. I know it's Wednesday. I didn't stream yesterday. So this is a motivational mashup for Tech Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're talking about Rumeng Pang. I'm terrible with names, especially names from, you know, foreigners. Rumeng Pang. Rumeng Pang. I think that's how you say it. I'm outside doing my walk, so bear with me. This is him. Now, I had a breakdown of his education. Uh, okay, these are some of his skills: AI research, software engineering, data analysis, and tech leadership. So, a lot of his AI research, he's innovating AI research, and he has written a lot of papers and articles on a bunch of stuff that the average person probably would have no idea what he's talking about. But software engineering, of course, he builds like applications. He works to enhance AI, and Mark Zuckerberg is building a team of AI professionals that can kind of innovate in the space. He doesn't really like the direction that his team is going right now, and he wants to innovate in the space, right? So this guy is very important because he's proven and he has a great resume, and he's managed a team of over 100 people. So that's why his skills are important. So let me see if I could find his education. Yeah. So it's Tech Tuesday on a Wednesday. Get it? So Ruming Pang, his education, he went to Princeton. He has a PhD in computer science. He went to Cornell. And I'm talking about, if you just tapping in, I'm talking about the guy, Ruming Pang. And he is a very important person. Just got a $200 million deal with Facebook. And this is his education. Now, the thing I want to talk about is, you see some influencers say that education isn't important anymore. You know, you don't need a college degree anymore, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say his name, but there's a big influencer who says this all the time. And you look at this guy right here who just did a $200 million contract with Facebook. He's very educated, right? So when you see some influencers, they talk down on education and say, hey, you don't need it. You can just get a certification, which is true. Nowadays, you can get just a certification and be okay. But are you gonna get this level of attention doing that? Are you gonna get this level of attention? Are you gonna get a $200 million deal with no education? This guy obviously has really good education, right? So I just wanted to highlight that for a second, his education, because we have a lot of influencers that get on here and they say, you don't need an education anymore. You don't need an education to work in tech. I'm tired of them saying that, man. Look at this guy, the guy that they took from Apple. Look at his education. Stop telling these kids that they don't need an education to work in tech. Stop it. It might be true. But to be an influencer, you don't need a college degree, nothing like that. But you see my point? My point is, one of the top guys in the game in the AI space, right? He went to Princeton. He went to Cornell. Great schools. So, keeping that in mind, um, the average person is not going to know what machine learning research is. Um, average person is not going to know what model scaling is, right? Speech recognition, those type of things. Um, if you use Chat GPT before, you know that it has a speech recognition feature on there. And I'm going to get a little detailed about how AI works, right? Um, the average person doesn't really know how AI works, so I'm gonna just explain it a little bit. In the beginning stages of AI, it was patterned after the brain, the way the brain works with neurons. I'm getting a little deep here, but for the people that want to learn about AI and they really interested in growing and there's a lot of money out there in AI, a lot of jobs gonna be making $200,000-$300,000 a year. So you'll basically, if you learn AI, you're gonna be very wealthy, regardless. So I'm talking to those people right now because I'm gonna get detailed into it, and maybe interesting to some people. It may not. But yeah, so basically when you put a prompt in AI, it creates something called a token. And the token basically turns into numbers. And then those numbers kind of turn into neurons, right? Like neurons in the brain that communicate and tell it to do things. So you put that prompt in and some calculated math comes out of it, and then you get whatever it is the result is. So in the future, I'm gonna go deeper into how AI works. But for now, that's basically, AI is just algebra, calculus. When you put in that prompt, a lot of different things come out of it. So, yeah. So the reason why I think learning about him is important is because he's a leader in the space of AI and technology. And if you want to become a leader and you study him, study his skills, understanding how to work with 100 engineers, that's high level skill, you know? When you reach his level, that's what he's doing now. He's basically a teacher. When you reach that level of success, it's like Roming Pang, you know, the guy who did the $200 million deal with Facebook. That's what I've been talking about. When you reach that level of skill, where you can control a team of 100 people, of 100 engineers, that's high level. And you should study people like that. Study people that have a high level of skill. See why people respect them. See why they were put in these high level positions. You never know, man. You might run into someone who can put you in position. You might have a conversation about him. And the fact that you know his education, you know his skills, you know, what he did to get to where he is might be impressive to the person that could take you to that next level. So that's a takeaway for this stream. I know it's Wednesday, but I didn't stream yesterday, so don't worry about the Tech Tuesday. So a takeaway you can get from this is study people that are in positions that you want to be in and get to know them. Know everything about them, their education, where they're from, how they got there. And a lot of people want to say that education isn't important in tech. And we're obviously proving them wrong right now, right? When you look at this guy's history, saying that education isn't important in tech is obviously not the greatest statement, because it is. Right now it is, and in the future it will be. Because how can you do anything if you don't know how to do it? Like, that's why I understand about people that say negative things about education. You're gonna have to educate yourself somehow. If you don't want to go to college, that's fine. But you're gonna have to educate yourself in some way, whether it's with a trade, whether it's with a certification. You can't get a job if you don't have no type of skill. Even someone who is a janitor, he has a routine where he goes around his building and he cleans the building, and he uses certain chemicals that you got to know the chemicals. You got to know, even as an exterminator. So you see my point. You got to have some sort of education to do any job, regardless of what that job is. So when people say that you don't need education to work in tech, it's not a fact, right? It's not a fact. So okay, so what can we learn from Roming Pang? So people are saying, like, you don't need an education, blah, 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 to work in tech. You know, a certification is good enough. He proved that that's not actually the case. That's not actually the case. You need a good education. And then you got to come into the real world and you got to make things happen. Because getting an education is the first step to making things happen for yourself. You know what I mean? That's just the first step. Even if you got a master's degree or a doctorate degree, you still got to go get a job and become good at what you do. Education is a starting point. So celebrate your education, but don't celebrate too much, because you still got to get out there and prove yourself. You still have a lot to prove, even though you have that education. You know what I'm saying? So he's an expert in certain tools. We're talking about, if you're just tapping in, we're talking about uh, Roming Pang, very successful engineer. I call him a teacher because he teaches a team of 100 people how to work together and build things. We're talking about his impact and his $200 million deal at Facebook. Why? His knowledge is very valuable in this time right now in AI. So if there's anyone here that's interested in working in AI, do your research on him. Always be learning. Always work on your impact, man. Don't worry about what people say. Education isn't important. When I hear an influencer or someone like that say that going to college is not, you don't have to go to college nowadays, you can just do this and that, I go and I get another degree. I don't agree with that at all. Because you got to be educated. Even if you want to be an influencer. If you're an educated influencer, you're more powerful. Because then you can talk high level of skill. You could talk at a high level of skill, which is totally different from just getting on social media and playing games. Because eventually you can make money like that. People have done it. These kids, I've seen influencers get on here and make 70, $80 million just playing video games. And I can name a bunch of them that have done it. But getting in that space is not easy now. A lot of those guys got in early. They built their audiences up and they got out. There's a couple of influencers that don't even stream anymore. They made so much money. Made like 50 million. They said, you know what? I'll just take this money and invest it. Chill. But my point is, if you're not part of that less than 1% that's gonna work hard on social media and post hundreds of videos and stuff like that, having an education is gonna work and make you different. It's gonna make you stand out, because not every social media person has an education. It's gonna make you stand out. Education makes you stand out regardless. I don't care where it's from. And you can be successful without it, because people like, there's a lot of influencers that have been successful without college education. But to me, having a college education is just better. And it worked out better for me. If I didn't have a college education, I wouldn't have been able to fall back on teaching, and I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I did. When your choices are better when you have education. But take a look at this. You see what that says? Always be learning. Study this man, right? If you interested in becoming successful in AI, study this man. Learn about machine learning and all the different skills that he has. Very important, especially if you want to get in the AI space, right? So that's what we've been talking about. If you're just tuning in, what's up? If you're just tapping in, we've been talking about the young man that just made the major deal with Facebook, 200 million, reportedly. I don't know this for a fact, but he reportedly did a $200 million, he has a $200 million package that includes salary, ownership in Facebook, etc. We've been talking about him and his skills. It's important. I'm out here doing my walk, people. If you haven't been, if this is your first time, I walk and talk, man. The Vault 500, I walk and talk about tech, pretty much anything I want to talk about, or anything you guys want to talk about, but yeah. So I'm streaming for the next 500 days. I missed yesterday. So I'm kind of mashing up a little bit of motivation and technology news. And I was talking about Romain Pang and his success and his skills, his skill set, which is really important to me. It may not be important to other people, but I'm an AI consultant, so knowing as much as about him as possible is important for me. And if you want to learn about him, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about him. So, yeah. But I'm about to end the stream, people. Thank you for tuning in. We had an opportunity to talk about Romain Pang, who is the engineer who did the $200 million Facebook deal. Reportedly, I don't know for a fact whether this is an actual deal or not. This is a reportedly type of thing, reported. So, but yeah, so I was talking about his skills, and you could do your research yourself on his skills. And he's a very important person in technology, so you're going to be hearing a lot about him and his innovations and the things that he's doing. I'm going to be following him, and I'm going to be learning as much information as I can about him. And but this is the Vault 500, and this is a Tech Tuesday and Wednesday motivation mashup. So we got a chance to talk a little bit about his skills and what he's doing in tech. Machine learning, software engineer, elite tech companies, worked on large-scale AI systems. So yeah, so do your research on him and get to know if you're looking to work in the AI space or in the tech space. He's very important. So this is King, and this is a mashup between Tuesday and Wednesday motivation, the Vault 500. Thank you guys for tapping in and being here. I'm trying to stream every day for the next 500 days. Yesterday I was sick, so today is Wednesday. I know it says Tuesday, but today's Wednesday. I know. Thank you guys for tapping in. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you shared a live if you feel like it's important to someone you may know. Appreciate it. King here, the Vault 500, day 15. We're over 2 weeks in. Thank you guys for tapping in. See you tomorrow.